everyone, I am Penner Natalia Alexandrovna, Senior Lecturer of Foreign Languages and Literature Department of Saktaghan Bayeshov University. Today we are going to speak about a very important topic, that is teaching grammar. Everyone understands that without knowledge of grammar we cannot build our sentences and interact effectively. So, during this lecture we are going to discuss such questions as the importance of grammar in learning a foreign language, comparative characteristics of the English grammar structure with that of mother tongue of the pupils, the content of teaching grammar, the principles of selecting grammar material for teaching, and how to teach grammar. So, teaching grammar to the pupils deals with the formation of grammar skills of the school children. Almost every teacher believes that it's the most challenging part of or aspect of teaching students. The learner needs to know what the words of the language are, what they mean, and how to combine these words to say what he or she wants to say. Grammar is sometimes that produces the sentence of language. By something, we mean a speaker of English. If you speak English natively, you have built into the rules of English grammar. In a sense, you are an English grammar. You possess, as an essential part of your being, a very complicated apparatus which enables you to produce infinitely many sentences, all English ones, including many that you have never specifically learned. Furthermore, by applying your rule, you can easily tell whether sentences that you hear is grammatically English sentence or not. That is connected with all languages. So, when speaking language one, we don't think about even the rules of combining the sentences, of using the tenses, because we acquire it step by step, starting with our childhood. The chief difficulty in the new language learning is that of changing from the grammatical mechanism of the native language to that of the new language. All grammar systems are quite different. What happens when we start learning a foreign language? The students apply the knowledge of their grammar structures, grammar system of their language one into the foreign language. In teaching grammar, the teacher should approach to the material differently depending on the difficulties pupils encounter in the assimilating the grammar phenomenon. Again, we should think about the differences. What is meant by grammar? By grammar, one can mean adequate comprehension and correct usage of words in the act of communication. So, grammar means all we use to communicate effectively, that is, correct usage of words, correct word order, correct usage of tenses and whatnot. By grammar, we also mean the system of the language, the discovery and description of the nature of language itself. There are several constructed grammars. We distinguish three types of grammars, that is, traditional, structural, and transformational. Traditional grammar studies the forms of words, morphology, and how they are put together in sentences, that is, syntax. Structural grammar studies structures of various levels of the language, morpheme level and syntactical level. And transformational grammar studies basic structures and transformation rules. But we deal with all three when we teach students grammar. Principles. Do you remember one of the questions to be discussed was principles of selecting grammar material? The first, the principle of frequency. We need to select the material based on this principle because we need to know how frequently this or that grammar item occurs. The principle of sampleness, the absence of synonymical grammar phenomenon, and the principle of polysemy. If we speak about English language, the basic challenge of teaching or learning a language, that is polysemy. One and the same word may have lots of meanings. For example, if I'm not mistaken, the word table has, in the dictionary, has 24 meanings. We know many of the students believe that the word book means only the papers that we read, but it may be a verb, it may be a noun, and it may be used in different meanings. Teaching grammar at school must be based upon the following principles. Conscious approach. The students must understand what they are taught. Practical approach. Practice makes it perfect. Structural approach. The students need to know the structures. And situational approach, in what situation it can be used. What do we teach when presenting grammar? Pronunciation, meaning, structure. Then the question to you. What must be taught first, second and third? Meaning, structure, and pronunciation. Why meaning? Meaning should be presented first so the students know what they're going to learn. So if you jump from this stage and if you omit the stage, the students will not know what is the meaning of structure and what for to learn it. Oral form, the students need to know how to pronounce this structure or grammar item, and only then that is pronunciation. So new grammar may be introduced in two ways, inductive and deductive. In one of the lectures we spoke about these two different approaches. Inductive means to observe grammar items when the teacher gives the example and the students discuss the example and they themselves form the rule. Deductive means that the teacher gives ready-made knowledge to the students and the students are not involved in the process. Types of exercises for assimilation of grammar. Recognition exercise, pre-cognitive exercises. That is exercises when the teacher gives the examples and the students start studying them, analyzing them. Drill exercises. We need to drill, as we say that the students need some practice. Completion, when we ask the students to complete something. Creative exercise, speech exercise, and grammar tests. Advantages of using situational presentations. So some of the methodologies say that the most beneficial way to introduce grammar, that is situational one. So what do we do using this approach? We introduce grammar item in situation. For example, I can show the students a picture of a small girl and ask to describe this girl using present simple tense. The students do it. Then I show another picture of a young lady and again ask the students to describe her. Then I put two pictures together and say that you see the pictures, two pictures of one of the same person. Now, it was many years ago and it is now. The students compare the usage of the verbs in these structures and they make the rule, for example, about the formation of past simple tense. So what are the advantages? Teachers don't need any course books or expensive materials. You may use pictures, you may use photos, you may use videos, anything that you have. The fact that grammar is given in context makes it clearer to the students. The students see the situation and they understand how it can be used. So how does it work? First, you need to think about the situation when this or that grammar is used. The situation must be real to life. And it must have many examples so that to give the students enough practice to absorb the target language. Of course, we cannot cover all the topics in one lecture, and for this you need to work further and to read some additional material to make your knowledge perfect. I'm sure that this will be very helpful for you when you plan and organize and conduct your lessons, lectures on teaching grammar.